Hey everyone, welcome to Meet the Coach. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Adil. I'm a lead generation and offer consultant. I'm back with another episode of Meet the Coach, and today I have a very special guest with me. He's somebody who says that he's an entrepreneur maker. He transforms employees into entrepreneurs, and he also transforms good entrepreneurs into great entrepreneurs. So I won't be wasting more time, and I'm really excited for this interview as I really want to know more about my guest as to what he does. So please welcome Mr. Joe Nicassio. Hey Joe,
Well,
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe, for joining. I really appreciate you taking time out and joining us. I know that you were having a session just before joining us, so I know you have a busy schedule. So thank you once again for joining us in the show.
Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, I do one-on-one coaching and I do group coaching and I keep myself busy enough, but I also have time freedom and geographic freedom. I just spent 5 weeks in Hawaii and I was able to run my coaching business from an island. So
Wow, that's awesome, and I'll get to
pretty
that.
cool.
But first, I think I would immediately jump into and ask. I mean, what is it that you do, and how do you get started?
How did I get started? So
Yeah, yeah.
currently, look, I made 1 million and I lost everything. And how I got started was for somehow I have a background in electrical engineering, and I made money and lost money in technology. But after I lost that money, I got blessed with a mentor, a guy named 𝐶𝐲𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬, and I got to spend 7 years learning from him. And I went to a paid event, and after that first event, they said, "You want to come to the second event?" And his events were $5,000 per person. And the first event, I put 500 on a credit card, and I said, "Well, I'm still trying to pay for the first event." And they said, "We know," because they knew my story of business crash. And they said, "Can you barter?" And I said, "What could I possibly do?" And they said, "We need transcription." So they sent me boxes of audio cassettes of 30 years of J. Abraham marketing think tanks.
Wow.
Listened to them, yellow pad, and then typed them up. And all that stuff ended up going in the J. Abraham Marketing Encyclopedia. But, one of the things, so I had this technology background, and I remember very distinctly, I was at a trade show and I had the 10 biggest marketing mistakes almost every business makes. And if you stop making those mistakes and you turn them around, they become marketing multipliers. And I remember I was at this trade show, and I was going from booth to booth, and it's like every single booth I went to was making at least one or more of the marketing mistakes. And it's like I wanted to help everybody, and it became very clear to me that wow, other people don't understand marketing at all. And I really became clear this is a place that I could help people. Now let's bring it back to what I'm doing today. I used to work with a lot of people. I work with a lot of people that I still do that are making 2 or 3 or 4 or 500,000 a year. They want to go to 1 or 2 or 3 million a year. But I kept running into people that said, "Joe, I don't make that kind of money. I don't have my own business. I work for the man, and it sucks. I have a job. I would like to
Mhm.
start my own business, but nobody's really teaching me the real stuff to be an entrepreneur." And I had conversations with God. I did some prayer and meditation, and I recognized that people who are starting at zero do not get much support. And it became a calling. And so I started employeeescapeplan.com, helping people, every day, millions of people are driving to a job they don't want to go to, and they're praying, "Dear God, send me a mentor so I don't have to work for these idiots who are stealing my soul ever again." And I'm Joe Nicassio. I'm the answer to that prayer. So, Employee Escape Plan was identifying a crowd of people that really were hungry for help. And what that's evolved into, the work I'm doing today, is the business happiness blueprint, which is really, if you're going to escape the job you don't love, I'm going to help you create
Mhm.
the business that you love. And it's all about waking up every day saying, "I love what I do. I'm good at what I do. I'm using my superpowers. I'm changing lives. And wow, I even get paid for this." So it's all about do what you love for yourself and your clients, share the love through good service and good marketing so you can receive the love in the form of appointments, gratitude, sales, cash, repeat business, referral business, video testimonials, and all the pieces you get to a business that works. So that's where I'm at today, is just helping people create a business, not just to make money. Yes, I'm an expert at helping you get more customers to pay you more money more often. But let's have fun doing it. If you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong.
Wow, that's amazing. And there are two things that I could really resonate with. One is definitely the one where you shared that you really focused on those who were really not like they're really feeling bad about the job they are at, or let's say, I mean, for me, I mean, I was there too 4 years ago when, although I didn't hated my job, but I was more about somebody who was feeling not fulfilled because it was more about, I mean, I'm somebody who is really driven by a purpose and somebody who loves solving problem, and I was at a position, I mean, although the job was secure, it was really good, but again, I was not able to solve problem, and it was going on and on, and I felt like I think I've had enough. I mean, it felt like, I mean, I'm not fulfilling my purpose. I'm just being there and being a slave to have that salary. So I think that was me 4 years ago. But something that you also mentioned, which was where I was 1 year ago, it was more about, you mentioned that you help them create a happy business, or where they are happy doing business. Because after leaving my job, I created a business. It did really well. We were making 6 to 7 figures, but again, I mean, I was that hamster in a wheel, and that this COVID lockdown actually made me realize that I was that, and it gave me a chance to reflect and reconnect with my purpose and think where I wanted to be. And I realized that although it's a business that I've invested 3 years in, but I'm not happy in that, and I wanted to be true to myself. So I could really see the importance of that, because I know had had somebody at that time, probably I wouldn't have wasted that much time, and I had to reach out and find my mentors and get help from them to start something that I started last year. But it really is important. So, can you tell us a bit more about that, how that journey has been when you decided that this is what you wanted to do and you created this business? So what sort of challenges that you see that people are usually coming across, or what's the biggest lesson that you've seen that people need to, I mean, have when it comes to either leaving their job or it's having a
Yeah.
happy business?
Yeah, it was a bumpy ride for me. When I was talking about entrepreneurship as an alternative to employment, a lot of people resisted that. I think entrepreneurship is more welcome today than it was 20 years
Yeah.
ago. I've been doing this for 21, 22, 23 years, and, everybody was discouraging, just go to school, get a good job, and become someone else's bitch. Pardon my language. But that's really, I wrote a book, Resurrecting America's Entrepreneurial Spirit, because a lot of people want to start a business and they're afraid. Look, and so, look, if you're starting a business today, first of all, there are more resources available to you than ever before. You need to kind of sort who's real and who's not, because there's a lot of false
Yeah.
resources, so you got to be very careful. But you can do it today. But I think the first step for anybody that wants to make the jump is choosing your business wisely. Do a good assessment. You were talking earlier about the job, and it really made me remember that a lot of people don't. There's not an unemployment problem, but there's an underemployment problem.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
like we have talents and skills and abilities from God, but most of our jobs do not celebrate our magic. They want us to do a cookie cutter job and a
Mhm.
cookie cutter job description, and just show up, do your work assignment. Don't think. Imagine that you work at McDonald's and you invent a healthier, tastier French fry.
Mhm.
Well, McDonald's celebrate you and say, "Good job, a deal. Like, we're gonna change our French." They're gonna say, "Shut up! Don't mess with
Yeah.
our brand,"
Yeah.
right?
That's true.
And so the challenge is most jobs do not celebrate creative expression, but human beings have a need to express their creativity And most jobs, because there's a cookie cutter job description, it stifles our creativity. And so when it comes to choosing your business, you want to figure out what is your magic. Where is the place where you thrive in your creative expression? You know, I think in our culture, we consume too much and we create too little. So if you want to make more money, you want to create more and consume less. You know,
That's so true.
be that content creator, be that writer, be that video producer, be that person that creates, even create your art. So the first thing is to figure out what areas do you like to create, and what are your passions, what are your talents, what are your skills. Make an inventory of all the things that you have to bring to the table. There's four hats of creativity. So number one is be the explorer. Your whole life you've been an explorer, but you need to inventory what you've learned and picked up along the way your entire life. That's the first step. It's a hat. I got a hat here. It's a hat. Okay?
Yeah.
So you put on the explorer hat, inventory your stuff. Then what you want to do is take that hat off and you put on a new hat, which is the artist hat, the creative. There's different possibilities that you could create for your business. You don't want to just come up with one idea. You want to have multiple ideas because you could take your life and business in multiple directions, and you want to come from a place of choice. After you've got a lot of good ideas, you want to take off that hat and you put on a new hat, which is the judge, the wizard, the wise man that's going to choose wisely. You might have 10 ideas for possible businesses, but you're going to choose one. And then when you feel like, okay, this is it, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, then you take that hat off and then you put on one more hat, which is the warrior. And that's where you go to battle and you execute and you make this business work.
Yeah, I mean, I love how visual you were when you were sharing this, and this is really amazing. I think this is something when I work with my clients. I mean, it's not how I put it, but I mean, I whenever I mean, I also start my work with. I mean, you need to find what's your zone of genius or zone of expertise is, and which is all about what problem you can solve best, and it's all about the expertise or the experiences you have accumulated. And I always say, it you while brainstorming for it, I always recommend my client to, I mean, go even in your zone of genius, and at the same time go in your zone of craziness as well, and then we can, once that's there, then I think it's the judge that you define, although I don't do it that way, but I think it's that judge that decides actually that how you are going to combine the genius and the crazy, and then you are with the executor who is going to execute that. So that's really awesome. Thank you for sharing that. uh, well, Joe, I know you have a very busy schedule, so I mean, I would love. I think I can go on and have more and more questions from you, and I can learn so much from you. But I think for our audience as well, how they can reach out to you, or is there any upcoming program, workshop that you are doing, or even if, I mean, you have any community that you want to talk about?
Yeah, let me give like 2 or 3 things here. Number one is I've got a community. It's businessincubatorcommunity.com. If you just type that into your browser, that will forward into my Facebook group, businessincubatorcommunity.com. That's my free group. And I also gave you another link. Before I give that link, I put together a training, and I'm actually willing to do this one-on-one with people for about $100. For $100, I've got a training called How to Turn Conversations into Cash. So
Wow.
it's not about mastering high ticket sales; it's about mastering low ticket sales. You know, and people going through that are having a lot of success. And if that's something, and if you just want to talk to me, or you're interested in conversations into cash, or you just want to talk to me, I got a website. Let me buy you an hour of my time. It's schedule.employeeescapeplan.com. And that'll get you on my calendar one-on-one with me. And we can talk about what you need. And that's a free call. It's not a sales pitch. I will add value to your life. And at the end, I may suggest to you an offer of how you could possibly work with me. But there's no pressure. I just want to help people. And I think it's important for people to have at least one experience with me before they make a decision on making, investing in me. And so schedule.employeeescapeplan.com. Let me buy you an hour of my time. I'm not cheap, but this is a great way for us to have a serious, put your cards on the table and get some expert feedback on how to build and grow your business.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I think that's really generous of you. And to our audience, I would say I think, I mean, I've been connected to Joe, and I've been connected with him on Facebook, and there's so much value that he's sharing that. But I recently, got on Clubhouse, and that's where I actually found out more about. There are certain different rooms where he is very regularly and actively moderating and sharing so much value that I can highly recommend that you at least get this opportunity to schedule this hour with him, and you get to see what value he shares, and I'm sure um, you'll be blown away by that. Joe, before we end this, I really wanted to ask about this is something that you shared uh, um, earlier when we were talking backstage, that you're an entrepreneur maker. Can you shed a bit light on that, and how is that different from being a coach or something?
Well, we have a sad situation in this country and really throughout the world that 9 out of 10 people that start businesses fail. And it's really sad because we know how to make businesses that work. There is a body of knowledge in the world that knows how to make businesses work. However, if our school system was effectively teaching that, 9 out of 10 businesses would succeed. Okay. But
Exactly.
the school system and our parents are not doing their job teaching us how to be successful entrepreneurs. And so I created a new program, a unique program, a superior program. And I mentor people. I have a low end program that's very affordable, but I have a high end program with guaranteed results. And it's $10,000. I charge $10,000 for 6 months of coaching or 6 months of mentoring, with a guarantee that you will make your money back and double it. And if you don't, I keep working with you until you do. You will be a mentor.
Wow.
You will be an entrepreneur when you're through with this. Your cash register will ring. And I filter people. If I don't think you have what it takes to be in my program, I won't let you in my program. But of the people that get in my program, I have 100% success rates
That's
because
awesome.
because of the way the guaranteed is structured. The only people that fail are the ones that quit. And if you quit, that's you.
Mm,
That's not me.
yeah.
Okay. And so I am good on my guarantee. And some people do take longer. They take longer than 6 months. But I make entrepreneurs. And I believe, look, why do people fail so much? Risk. Warren Buffett said risk comes from not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what you're doing, then you can hire a mentor like me so that we know what works. Trust your mentor, work with your mentor, and we'll break it into baby pieces for you. I'll connect the dots for you. I'll help hold your hand, and you will get your cash register ringing. And if you don't, we'll keep working on it until we figure it out.
Yeah, that's that's awesome, and I think that's the key takeaway, that trust your mentor. So I think that's the key.
Well, the key
So
is choose your mentors wisely.
yeah, that's also an important, I know. I think it's easier said than done. I think that that has its own natural process. I think we all have our mess ups, and I think our experiences that have, I think, taught us how to do that. So no matter, we can be out there and share all that, but at the same time, I think this happens, that people make mistakes and they learn from it, and hopefully, if they learn from it, and that's when they realize that how they can do
Yeah.
that. So,
Every
yeah.
every master was once a disaster,
Exactly.
and you
Yeah.
got to learn to turn your mess into your message.
Yeah, that's so true, and that's such a profound message. I always love this. So, well, thank you so much, Joe, for your time. I really appreciate your time and so sharing so much value. Uh, and to our audience, please connect with Joe. What I'll do is I'll share these links in the thread over here where we are streaming this, so you can reach out to him. He's super approachable person. I think make full use of this opportunity that he's providing us. So I highly recommend you to reach out to him and have this conversation with him. And hopefully, I'm sure you'll be blown away by that. We'll be back. Yeah, sure.
I love helping people. I love.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can vouch for that. So, uh, like I said, reach out to him and see. I mean, he will definitely help you out. So, well, that's it from us this week. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week with another amazing coach or expert, and let's see what amazing story we'll get to find out from them. So, have fun. Have a nice evening. Bye.